Imagine waking up tomorrow and stepping outside into -50 degrees Celsius. Your eyelashes begin to freeze. Your breath turns into crystals. The metal around you becomes dangerously brittle. Your phone can die within minutes. And turning off your car could mean that it never starts again. Now imagine that this isn't an expedition into Antarctica. There is no research station here, no temporary camp. This is a city. There are schools, universities, supermarkets, apartment buildings, restaurants, cinemas, and thousands of people going to work every morning. This is Yakutsk, one of the coldest inhabited cities on Earth. And in winter, temperatures can fall below -60 degrees Celsius. But the strangest thing about Yakutsk isn't the cold. It is the fact that people have built an entire modern city on top of frozen ground that has remained locked in ice for thousands of years. And now, that frozen ground is beginning to change. Yakutsk sits in eastern Siberia, in the Republic of Sakha, far from the moderating influence of the ocean. And that distance matters. Oceans act like enormous thermal buffers. They absorb heat during summer and release it slowly during winter. But Yakutsk is more than 2,000 kilometers from the nearest coast. There is no warm ocean nearby to soften the extremes. Instead, cold air settles across the enormous Siberian interior. During winter, a massive area of high atmospheric pressure dominates the region. The air becomes still, clouds are scarce, wind can disappear, and because cold air is denser than warm air, it can settle into low-lying areas and remain there. This creates a climate unlike almost anywhere else on Earth. January temperatures around Yakutsk can average roughly -40 degrees Celsius, and during the most extreme cold spells, temperatures can fall dramatically lower. But there is something even more remarkable beneath the city. The ground itself is frozen. Under Yakutsk lies permafrost, soil that has remained frozen continuously for thousands of years. In parts of the Sakha region, this frozen layer can extend extraordinarily deep. It is not simply a thin layer of winter frost. It is an enormous frozen world beneath the surface, and this creates a strange architectural problem. Normally, when you build a house, you want it firmly connected to the ground. In Yakutsk, that can be dangerous. A heated building transfers warmth downward. If that warmth reaches the permafrost, the frozen soil can begin to thaw. And once frozen ground becomes soft, the foundation above it can shift. So many buildings are elevated on piles driven deep into the frozen ground. Walk through parts of Yakutsk and you can see open space underneath buildings. The structures appear to be standing on legs. This isn't decoration, it is survival. The empty space allows cold air to circulate underneath the building and helps prevent heat from reaching the frozen ground. Even the city's pipes reveal how unusual this environment is. Instead of simply burying water and heating pipes underground, many systems have to be protected above the surface. Yakutsk has effectively turned its infrastructure inside out. The city survives because it understands one simple rule: the ground beneath you must remain frozen. For someone arriving from a warmer country, the cold in Yakutsk can seem almost impossible. At extreme temperatures, exposed skin becomes dangerous very quickly. Your breath freezes as soon as it leaves your body. Phones can shut down, rubber becomes hard and brittle, and batteries lose their ability to function normally. But local people have learned to adapt. Clothing is not simply about comfort, it becomes protective equipment. People wear multiple layers designed to preserve body heat, and electronics are often kept close to the body so that batteries don't freeze. Then there are the cars. During the coldest periods, drivers may leave their engines running for extended periods. A vehicle that is turned off in extreme cold can become extremely difficult to restart. Oil thickens, batteries weaken, fuel systems become unreliable. So in winter, you can sometimes see rows of empty cars sitting outside buildings with their engines running. The cold also transforms the way people buy food. At Yakutsk's markets, frozen fish and meat can be displayed outdoors without conventional refrigeration. The environment itself becomes the freezer. Fish can remain frozen solid, and one of the region's traditional foods, stroganina, consists of extremely thin slices of frozen raw fish. Here, food preservation isn't something hidden inside a machine. It is happening all around you. The landscape itself is doing the work. Even the enormous Lena River changes its role. During winter, sections of the frozen river and surrounding landscape can become routes for transportation. Roads can appear across frozen terrain that simply disappear again when temperatures rise. For part of the year, winter itself becomes infrastructure. At this point, one question becomes unavoidable. Why stay? Why build a city in one of the harshest environments on Earth? Part of the answer lies beneath the frozen ground. The Republic of Sakha is extraordinarily rich in natural resources. Diamonds, gold, coal, and other minerals have helped make this remote region economically important. Yakutsk developed as a major center, connecting people, industry, transportation, and resource extraction across a huge part of Siberia. But economics alone doesn't explain everything. People don't simply survive here, they build lives here. Children go to school, families gather, people celebrate weddings. Teenagers wait for buses, workers commute, restaurants open, life continues. The cold has become part of the culture itself. Yakutsk is not a temporary settlement fighting against winter. It is a permanent city that has learned to live with it. And that is what makes the next part of the story so surprising. The frozen ground beneath Siberia is more than a foundation. It is a time capsule. For thousands of years, plants and animals died, froze, and remained trapped before normal decomposition could fully occur. That means the permafrost contains an enormous archive of ancient biological material. Mammoths have been discovered preserved in the frozen ground. Other ancient animals have emerged with remarkably preserved tissue, fur, and bones. The deeper you go, the further back in time you can travel. For modern science, this frozen world is an extraordinary record of Earth's past. But it also contains something much more important: carbon. Huge quantities of organic carbon have been locked inside northern permafrost for thousands of years. As long as the ground stays frozen, much of that material remains trapped. But when permafrost thaws, microorganisms can begin breaking it down. That process can release greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and methane, and this creates a dangerous feedback. More warming can cause more thawing. More thawing can release more greenhouse gases, and those gases can contribute to further warming, which brings us to Yakutsk's greatest paradox. Yakutsk was designed around an assumption that the frozen ground would remain frozen. For generations, that assumption worked, but the climate is changing. Across parts of the Arctic and subarctic, permafrost is becoming less stable, and when frozen ground changes, the consequences can become visible. Buildings can shift, roads can deform. The ground can collapse into depressions known as thermokarst. Water can collect where solid ground once existed. Infrastructure designed for permanently frozen soil suddenly has to deal with a moving foundation. This is why Yakutsk is more than an extreme weather curiosity. It is a real-world experiment in what happens when a civilization built around frozen ground encounters a warmer climate. The irony is almost impossible to ignore. The city that learned to survive because of the cold may now be threatened by the loss of that cold. And the permafrost contains another mystery. Everything that was frozen into it for thousands of years can eventually be exposed. Ancient animals, organic material, microbial life, a biological archive preserved beneath the surface for longer than human civilization has existed. The ice is not simply disappearing, it is opening. There is something deeply human about Yakutsk. At -40 degrees, people still go to work, children still play, Cars still move through the streets, markets still open, families still build their lives. Human beings have always done this. We enter places that seem impossible and slowly learn how to live there. We raise buildings above frozen ground. We redesign our roads. We change the way we transport food. We carry our phones inside our coats. We turn winter itself into infrastructure. But Yakutsk also reveals something more uncomfortable. The ground beneath our feet feels permanent only because it has remained stable for as long as we can remember. But stability is not a law of nature. It is a condition, and in Yakutsk, that condition is beginning to change. For thousands of years, the permafrost waited beneath this city. Now the city is waiting to see what happens when the frozen world beneath it begins to wake. Because sometimes, the most hidden worlds on Earth aren't somewhere far away. They are directly beneath our feet. This is Hidden Worlds.